It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight.
Welcome back to my channel. To start off this look, I'm going to be doing my brows off camera, and I will link this down below for you. Then we're using our CC Beauty 12 color flash palette and taking the red in the palette and basically putting this over our mouth and extending it towards the ears, and then taking that black and doing the same thing over the red. But I do go in with a second layer of black just to darken it because this is where our mouthpiece is going to go. And if you're wondering, I did get this palette off Amazon. Then we're going in with our Ben Nye neutral set, and this is just a translucent powder, and just setting the face paint. I'm going in with some fake nails I got from the dollar store and some Flesh latex from the Halloween store. I'm just trimming these to look like teeth. Basically, I'm going to put latex on the nail and then glue it right above our lips, and then repeating this step all around the mouth. I put about 6 in each row, I want to say, and just I cut every single one to look like a gross tooth. Then once that's done, I'm going to brush a little bit of black around it and in between my disgusting teeth, and setting that again. This is also very important. Then I'm going to be taking my IT Cosmetics No Tug black eyeliner, and we're going to be creating our black eyes and just kind of buffing that out. Joey wanted to get in the shot, and I tried to freak him out, but it didn't work. Then using our Take Me Back to Brazil palette and dipping into that purple, I'm going to be blending out that black to create a more bruised effect. And then making sure that I get this in the socket of the eye as well, just so it looks a little more realistic. Then we're going in with that limeish green, and this is going to make us look like sickly, and popping that right over the purple, kind of right above it. And then also with that yellow, doing kind of the same thing but underneath. And again, this is just to make the bruising look a lot more realistic. Here I'm taking black eyeshadow and popping this right into, or on, what is the word I'm looking for? Under my eyes. And then going in with black face paint and painting the entire eyelid, and then some red face paint as well. And then putting a little bit of red on my forehead, and then some black, and just blending this out because we're going to do an eyepiece as well. Then I'm dragging it down towards the neck, doing pretty much the same technique, some red, some black, some purple, and just making this look like bruising. Then I'm using that green from the BH palette and kind of putting this all over where my skin is exposed, and this is just kind of make us look sickly, like, you know, we're dead. And popping this also over the eye and a little bit over the bruising. And then we're going to be taking some cotton balls. I got these at the dollar store as well, and I'm going to be popping that on and then painting some liquid latex over it. And then I took this kind of, they're like tweezers, I guess, and I'm kind of pulling some of the cotton out just so it looks like, you know, dead skin or melted off skin, what have you, and just making this look pretty gross. For the cheek piece, I'm going to be popping some latex on and some of that cotton. And this time I'm going to be stringing some cotton up to give me that like rotted face effect, and just basically repeating this step on both sides. And when I wasn't totally happy with the stringiness of it, I rolled up some cotton and kind of created the effect myself. And this seemed to really help pull it all together. Once we are done with that, I'm going in with my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation and painting this over the cotton, and I'm kind of avoiding the areas where my skin is exposed because I want that bruising to still show through. Then I'm going to be moving on to the eyepiece, and I'm basically doing the same exact thing I did on the cheeks, except that I'm going to make it look like the skin is rotted over my eye. This was a little trickier than I anticipated, but I just rolled up some cotton again and kind of connected it to the bottom piece, as you'll see. Then I'm going back into the CC Beauty palette and pulling some red and putting that in between. And I also go in with tweezers and I kind of pull it a little bit to make it look more 3D, more rotted, more like, ew, like my skin is flapping. And I do the same thing around the mouthpiece as well. Here I am going in with some black from that BH palette and running it along or on the sides of the rotted pieces to give them some depth and dimension. And then I'm also using that black and red to define the mouthpiece and make it look like it's detaching from our face. And then basically just repeating that same bruising things that we were doing, adding some red, purple, green, and yellow just to make this look super realistic. I'm going to be taking that yellow face paint and running this right over the teeth, and then to give this an even more like disgusting rotted look, I take that brown face paint and run that very lightly over the yellow to not overpower it but make it look still like pretty nasty. Then to finish off the eyepiece, I'm using some foundation and like lightly running it over the cotton. I just don't want to mess it up, and I have no really like back part of it to put pressure on, so doing this very lightly. Then going in with some red and kind of making that look irritated, and again repeating the same process with that black, and then running some red over the eyepiece to also make it look irritated. And I wasn't really happy with how 3D the mouthpiece looks, so I went ahead and added some cotton around my mouth more just to make it look like, I don't know, more 3D, like I said. And then just doing that bruising thing all over again with all of those shadows. Then we're going in with some extra thick blood, and I am spooling this pretty much into those crevices and also on the outside around the mouthpiece to make it look really gross and bloody. And then just repeating this, add as much blood as you want, add as little as you want, but I wanted this to look pretty gory. And also you'll see I added some on my neck and kind of smudged it around the eye as well. And yeah, that is pretty much the whole tutorial. I hope you guys really liked it. If you guys did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, loves!